Welcome to Mrs. V's Reading Corner, where you can enjoy books for educational, fun, or even bedtime stories. Please take the time to like this video, comment below with how you enjoyed it, book suggestions, and more. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get all the new books that I post first. Goodbye, 382 Shin Dang Dong by Francis Park and Ginger Park. My heart beats in two places. Here where I live and also in a place where I once lived. You see, I was born in Korea. One day my parents told me we were moving to America. I was 8 years old enough to keep many loving memories of my birthplace alive in my heart forever. But one very sad memory stays with me too. The day I cried. Goodbye, 382 Shin Dang Dong. On that summer day, I woke up to the sound of light rain tapping on my window. The monsoon season was coming. I didn't even need to open my eyes, I knew that. It was that time of year. It was also time to move. In a few hours, I would be on an airplane. When I opened my eyes, my heart sank. My bedroom was so bare. No hand-painted strolls or colorful fans on my walls. No silk cushions or straw mats on my floor. All my possessions were packed away in a big brown box marked lovely things. I frowned and listened to the raindrops. 1, 2, 3. Soon the thick of the monsoon would arrive and 1,000 raindrops would hit our clay-tiled roof all at once. But I wouldn't be here to listen to them. I would be halfway around the world in a strange farm place called Once-Well Foster Terrace, Brighton, Massachusetts, USA. My parents were very excited. Jamie, you will like America, Dad tried to assure me. Are the seasons the same? I wondered. Oh, yes. With monsoon rains? No, Jamie, no monsoon rains. No friends either, I moaned. You will make many new friends in America, Mom promised me, in your new home. But I love my home right here. I didn't want to go to America and make new friends. I didn't want to leave my best friend, Kishunai. After breakfast, Kishumai and I ran out into the rain, into the open market. Monsoon season was also the season for sweet yellow melons, called chummy. Kishumai and me would often peel and eat chummy under the willow tree that stood outside my bedroom window. But today, the chummy were for guests who were coming over for a farewell lunch. At the market, we peered into endless baskets and took our time choosing the ripest, plumpiest chummy we could find. Do they have chummy in America? Kishu and I wondered. No, I replied, but my mom says they have melons called honeydew. Honeydew? Kishu and I giggled. What a funny name. Soon after we returned, family and friends began to arrive, carrying pots and plates of food. One by one, they took off their shoes, then entered the house. Grandmother was dressed in her most special occasion hanbok. She set up the long bap song, and before I could even blink, on it were a big pot of dumpling soup and the prettiest pastel rice cakes I had ever seen. Kishunai and I peeled and sliced our chummy and carefully arranged the pieces on a plate. Then everybody ate and sang traditional Korean songs and celebrated in a sad way. Love and laughter and tears rippled through our house. How I wanted to pack these moments into a big brown box and bring them with me to America. Kishunai and I sneaked outside and sat beneath the willow tree. We watched the rain with gloom faces. Kishunai, I wish we never had to move from this spot, I said. Me too, she sighed. Jamie, how far away is America? My mom says that it's halfway around the world. And my dad told me that when the moon is shining here, the sun is shining there. That's how far apart we'll be, I moaned. That's really far, Kishunai moaned back. We watched the rain and grew more gloom than ever. Then Kishunai perked up. So when you're awake, I'll be asleep. And when I'm awake, you'll be asleep, she declared. At least we'll always know what the other one is doing. That moment, our faces brightened. But a moment later, we had to say goodbye. Kishunai held back her tears. Promise you'll write to me, Jamie. I promise, Kishunai. It was time to go to the airport. Kimpo Airport, Dad instructed the taxi driver. The taxi slowly pulled away. I looked at our beautiful home one last time. Like rain on the window, tears streaked down my face. Goodbye, 382, Shin, dang, dong, I cried. On the long ride to the airport, Dad asked me, do you want to know what your new home looks like? Okay, I shrugged. Let's see. Dad began. It's a row house. A house that's attached to other houses, Mom explained. And inside the house are wooden floors, Dad added. No undo floors? I asked him. How do we keep warm in the winter without underfloors? There are radiators in every room, Mom said with enthusiasm. Clap. And a fireplace in the living room. Imagine. Now I could not imagine that. In our home, we had a fire in the cellar called an ondo. It stayed lit all the time. The heat from the ondo traveled through underground pipes and kept our wax-filled floors warm and cozy. A fireplace in the living room sounded peculiar to me. And the rooms are separated by wooden doors, Mom added. No rice paper doors, I wondered. My parents shook their heads. No, Jamie. My eyes closed with disappointment. I had a hard time picturing this house. Would it ever feel like home? On the airplane, I sat by the window. We flew over the rice fields and clay-tilted roofs. Already I felt homesick. The next thing I knew, we were flying over the ocean. At first, I could see fishing boats rocking in the waters. As we climbed higher into the clouds, the boats grew smaller and smaller. Suddenly, the world looks very big to me. Goodbye, 382, Shin, dang, dong, I cried again. Dad sat back in the seat and began to read an American newspaper. The words were all foreign. Dad, I asked, how will I ever learn to understand English? It's not so hard, he said. Would you like to learn an English word? Okay, I sighed. After a pause, Dad came with rose. Rose? I repeated. What does that mean? That's the English translation of your Korean name, Mom said. Rose means Jamie. I asked. Yes, my parents nodded. Rose. I said it over and over. Would you like to adopt Rose as your American name? Mom asked me. No, I like my name, I insisted. On a foggy morning, 4 days later, we arrived in Massachusetts. After we gathered our luggage, we climbed into an airport taxi. Even though the fog, I could see that things were very different in America. They were big, wide roads called highways. The rooftops were shingled instead of clay tiled. People shopped in glass enclosed stores instead of open markets. No rice fields, no monsoon rains. So many foreign faces. Slowly, the taxi pulled up to a row house on a quiet street. Red brick steps led up to a wooden door. Here we are, Jamie, Dad said. 112 Foster Terrace, Brighton, Massachusetts, USA. The house was just as my parents had described. I took off my shoes and walked on the wooden floors. They felt very cold. I opened wooden doors. They felt very heavy. Outside, the fog had lifted, but inside, everything felt dark and strange. Look, Dad pointed out the window. There's a tree just like the one at home. No, it's not, Dad. It's not a willow tree, I said. No, he agreed. It's a maple tree. But isn't it beautiful? 382 Shin Dang Dong. 382 Shin Dang Dong. I wanted to go home to 382 Shin Dang Dong right now. Only a knock at the door saved me from tears. Mom announced, "The movers are here." The house quickly filled up with furniture and big brown boxes. The box marked lovely things was the last to arrive. I unpacked all my possessions. I hung my hand-painted scrolls and colorful fans on the walls. I placed my silk cushions and straw mats on the floor. Then came another knock. To our surprise, a parade of neighbors walked in carrying plates of curious food. There were pink and white ice cakes and warm pans containing something called casseroles. A girl my age warmed it up to me with a small glass bowl. Inside the bowl were colorful balls. They smelled fruity. She pointed to a red ball and said, "Watermelon." She pointed to an orange ball and said, "Cantaloupe." Lastly, she pointed to a green ball and said, "Honeydew." I took a green ball and tasted it. It was as sweet and delicious as chami. The girl asked me a question, but I couldn't understand her. She wants to know what kind of fruit you eat in Korea. Dad stepped in. Chummy, I replied. Chummy, the girl repeated, then giggled. Just like Kishinai. She asked me another question. She wants to know your name, Dad said. Maybe someday I will adopt Rose as my American name, but not today. Jamie, I replied. Jamie, the girl smiled. My name is Mary. Mary, I smiled back. I had made a new friend. Later, when all the guests had gone, I went outside and sat under the maple tree. Dad was right. It was beautiful. Maybe someday Mary and I will sit beneath this tree and watch the rain fall. And maybe I will come to love it as much as our willow tree back in Korea, but not today. I began to write. Dear Kishunai, my best friend was so far away from me, so very, very far. But at least I know where Kishunai was and what she was doing. She was halfway around the world, sleeping to the sound of 1,000 raindrops hitting her clay-tilted roof all at once. The end.